Happy VA Wednesday. So today we're going to be talking about some common VA loan misconceptions and how they can cost you, the veteran, money. If you're new to the channel, I'm a lender licensed in 48 states. My team's in 50 states. I am the #1 purchase VA loan officer for the last 2 years. That's right. I have to say purchase now because there was a lender that did a lot more refinances. I only refinance when it makes sense. Okay, so let's dig into it. Misconceptions that are going to cost you money. I was at the ballet this weekend. I know there's always a backstory. And at the ballet, there was a couple in front of us and we started talking to them because they were nice. And we discovered that he was a veteran, her dad had served. We started chitter-chattering and he's like, you know, because my husband's like my biggest fan, guys. Just so you know, if you ever meet us in person, my husband's gonna be like, she loves veterans, she's gonna help you. And I'm like, they're at the ballet, leave them alone. But he goes, I've never used my VA benefit. And I said, what? Like, what? And he was in finance. I was like, what do you mean you've never used it? He's like, I didn't want to get beat. Whoa, VA misconception #1, especially like we're in Florida. Florida loves their veterans, friends. So here's the thing. There's a lot of people that have been told by uneducated real estate agents or uneducated mortgage lenders that, well, if you use VA, they're going to put your offer at the bottom of the pile. That's not true. Okay. Now look, if you're in an area where there's 45 offers, okay, could it go to the bottom of the pile? Sure. What are you offering? What's the price you're offering? Could it go to the top of the pile? Yes, right? It could go either way because what you need to know is it depends on the seller. Not all sellers are the same. So whenever anyone in the industry is trying to tell you that, oh yeah, you know, sellers don't like VA, that's not a thing. Like, that is not a thing. Sellers don't even know what VA is. And look, as a lender, part of my job is if I ever get pushback against VA is to call the agents and educate them on why it's a great thing for the seller as well. So, okay, you're like, well, okay, Jen, how can that lose me money? Guys, VA loans seriously are a true benefit. There's a lot of people who may have served who don't believe there are any true benefits, but I'm here to tell you this one's legit. 0 down payment. Rates are lower than conventional. Rates are lower than jumbo. Yeah, even because people go, oh, well, I'm buying a $2 million, $3 million house. VA won't be. Yes, it is. It's better. It's better. I can't say it enough. It's better. You're gonna save money. Now, even if you're like, well, I'm gonna put down 20%. The interest rate savings between VA and conventional can be so substantial that it still makes sense to go VA even if you have to pay the funding fee. If you're a disabled veteran at any level and you do not have to pay the VA funding fee, VA wins hands down every time. Unless you're working with a lender that's ripping you off. And the red flag on that one is if they go, well, VA is higher than conventional. Run, 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 right? We can do it together. This is actually my exercise. Run away from them, okay? Seriously. So with VA, you know, versus conventional less than 20%, there's no mortgage insurance with VA. That saves you a chunk. The lower rate saves you a chunk. So don't just say no to VA because you talked to someone or you heard a rumor or you thought, oh, I might get beat. Especially the states, man. You guys have no idea how patriotic some people are. And like Florida, Texas, I'm always like, if you're a veteran, you've got a benefit for sure. And there's a lot of other states like that. Even the states where you're like, I don't know if they like veterans. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Okay, so #1 is not using your VA benefit. Okay, what's #2? Thinking that a lender is VA. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. So one of the biggest VA lenders in the nation, whose name I'm not putting in here because it would be an FTC issue because they're a competitor. I know, these rules, guys. People think they're VA. Seriously, I've had so many borrowers go, wait a second, I thought they were the Veterans Administration and I had to use them. No, guys. Here's the thing about VA loans. Make sure you're shopping your rate and your fee that the lender gives you. It varies based on lender. There is not one lender for VA. VA itself would never recommend you to any lender. They're Switzerland. They don't have a horse in the game. They're never going to be like, oh, use Jen Beeston, or oh, use USAA, or use Veterans United that pretends to be VA, or use, they're never going to do that. So look, through very creative marketing, there are some lenders that have made veterans believe that they are VA. I'm not kidding. And it's really an issue because when people think, oh, this is VA, this is who I have to go through, they don't shop rate and fee. And that's how some lenders are able to charge more. Okay, so I really want you guys to watch out for that. I want you to make sure you're shopping your lender for rate and fee. This can save you the most. I mean, this is really where we see those big savings. If you want to see if you're getting a good deal, call, text us, 786-933-2077. We're always happy to look at it and be like, yeah, that's great, or you're getting screwed. And I hate to say it, but unfortunately, we do say a lot of this. But sometimes I'm like, wow, that's really good. So happy to look at it. But yes, rates vary based on who you speak to. There is not one lender. VA does not recommend lenders. VA itself is not hands-on during this process at all. Okay. Now, the third misconception that we see about VA loans that can cost you money is property condition. And I did a video that went into the weeds on property condition a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to have a link to that for you guys. But here's the deal. I hear it all the time. Oh, well, my real estate agent said that house won't go VA. Why? Well, it doesn't have a arm holder in the stairwell. I know, guys, there's a better term for that. What do we want to call it? A handle, right? That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. Anyways, if you have a big staircase, like, yeah, you need a railing. It's a stair railing. Jeez. It's hitting, guys. I'm getting older. You've got to have that, right? And so a real estate agent or someone might go, oh, well, it can't go VA. Guys, if the VA appraiser calls it out, let's just put one in. Seriously, it's not a big deal. Like, it's a couple $100. The seller can pay for it. You can pay for it. I don't care who pays for it. Just get it in the stairwell so you don't tumble to your death. That's all we care about, and people will be like, well, VA, the house has to be perfect. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And seriously, I have seen some houses where I'm like, there is zero chance, but it's normal for the area. And that's one of the big things that the VA appraiser's looking at. They're not looking at nitpicky stuff at all. They're looking for health and safety. So when we talk about those stairs, it's a health and safety because without the railing, you could plummet to your death, right? You've got nothing to hold on to if you trip. Something that happens to me quite a bit. So that's what they're looking for. And people go, oh, well, I heard about peeling paint. Guys, if it's like 1940s peeling paint, it could have lead in it. That's the concern. And although we all know you're not going to be outside scraping it and eating it, it's still a health and safety issue. But do houses have to be perfect for VA? Absolutely not. Just no huge health and safeties. And we're always happy, like with our clients, if they're unsure, if they're like, I think, or my real estate agent saying this won't go, I'll look at the pictures and I'll be like, okay, what about this? What about that? Why are they? I'll talk to the agent. Why do you think it won't go? And sometimes they'll go, Jen, the pictures look really good, but I talked to the listing agent and that house is a POS. And I'm like, okay, like, let's get away, right? The last thing I want you guys to have is a house with a bad foundation or, everything's broken, leaks, mold. Ugh, no one wants any of that. So, but that is a misconception that costs people money because they don't write offers on houses that they love or that would be a really good fit for them financially because they don't think it's going to go VA. So here's the overall, it's kind of a quicker video actually for me. Number one, don't give up your VA benefit just because you've heard it's not good. That you'll lose money. It's that simple. You are leaving so much money on the table by doing that. Number two, there is no lender that VA recommends. VA itself is not the one issuing these loans. Many lenders do VA, banks, credit unions, brokers, lenders like me. There's a lot to choose from. So make sure you're shopping your rate and your fee. If a lender says VA sets the rates, it's the same no matter who you talk to, they are a liar and we're gonna run, right? Yeah, it's a different run. I got a little tired. And then third, property. Don't freak out. It doesn't have to be perfect for VA, okay? Do not give up on a house because someone tells you it's not going to go VA unless that person is me or someone on my team, okay? Now look, if it's a ramshackle shack falling down, yes, that's an issue, but you'd be surprised how many houses we see where it's either A, 100% fine, or B, there's just a couple little tweaks before closing. Nothing to stress out about. So questions, comments, as always, feel free to reach out. 786-933-2077. If you want to give me any supplement ideas so that I don't have those railing moments, right? Feel free to drop it in the comments. But thanks for watching, guys. We want you to use your VA benefit, so please don't fall into these traps. Thanks for watching.